Okay, back to stupid flask tricks. So this is actually a bit of a clickbait title. I don't have the currency to have 30% recovery of life on hit. I think right now I'm only at 18, which is truly sad. So what does it take to do this? Very simply, we want flasks that say gain 7 charges when you are hit by an enemy. It doesn't have to be 7, but 7 makes it easier. You need to be a Pathfinder. Let's take a quick look at our passives while these guys are being happily futile. We care about the following nodes. We want to have, well, really only this node. Recover 6% of life when you use a flask. So if we get 7 charges when hit, and we recover 6% of life whenever we use it, and our flasks are set up to use when reached full, well, if we can turn those 7 charges into 20 charges, we recover 6% life of hit, on hit, being hit, per flask. So you can get it up to 30%. Probably shouldn't exist, but, well, it does. Let's talk about how you do it. A couple notes are very important. First of all, you want some increased flask charges gained, but more importantly, we want to have reduced flask charges used. And if there's one thing to remember with Path of Exile, whenever you read reduced, it probably means that somebody should have been using a different word or implementing it differently or whatever. Anyway, reduced in general is a great place to find exploits or creative use of game mechanics. We actually bumped this up to 35%. We have 10% here. We have 5%. Oh wow, I didn't even do that. Embarrassing. Apply refund. Apply points. Okay. This probably will make it even sillier. 5% reduced here. So that's 15%. And there's this node down here, which you cannot see until I move it up here. There you go. 5% reduced charges here. So it's 15%. We have a belt, which has 20% reduced flask charges used, which is 35%. 35% of 20 is 7. So we gain 7. We don't have to worry about 7 because we have reduced flask charges used, which we need to cover the last 6. The last 6 is covered by 86% increased flask charges gained, which we get mostly just here. Alchemist Genius gives us 20%. Yeah, charge gained by 20%. This gives us 20%. So this cluster is like the trash cluster, but it gives you 40% increased charges gained. We can pick up 15 and 10 here, so that's 25%. And then over here we pick up 10 and 10. So that's 20, 30, 45. And then over here we're at 85. Yeah. This is dumb. As for the gear, 46 armor, absolutely fantastic piece. We have a shield, it gives us 85 evasion. We have some armor and evasion boots. 96, this is probably the highlight so far. Oh, 247, and then some gold trim for 50 evasion. Our rings are also just utter garbage. We are running Grace. We do have iron reflexes. We have some increased evasion because I'm playing around with Frostblink. And, you know, I still need to finish up my last 2 flasks, and then we should be getting to 30% of life recovered on being hit. And just for the stats, we have 7,000 armor. This is Blood Aqueduct, right? This is just showing the general idea. Yeah. This is why Pathfinders are fun, because as long as they keep up with this idea of giving us additional effects on all flasks, you know, we have 5 flask slots, that's kind of breaks the Pathfinder class. Right? This is why balancing Pathfinder is going to be a nightmare as long as they stick with this paradigm. If on the other hand they had masteries that said like, you know, your 5th flask is always active as long as your 1st flask isn't active, right? Or when your 3rd flask is active, you have Seekers of Suffering, right? Things like that, where it's specific to just one equipment slot instead of trying to boost 5 equipment slots at once. We're always going to have these types of interactions. Where they're going to create things for other classes because, you know, let's be fair, pretty much everybody's using a flask on their build, or probably 5. So as long as they're trying to balance flasks for all the other classes, they're going to keep running into this issue where this one class is making flasks more powerful. It's kind of like the Deadeye and bows, right? When you make bows better, Deadeyes get better, right? There's a lot of balancing around the Deadeye that is based in the bow. And for the Pathfinder, what they've done isn't just to put it in a bow, which only a certain percentage of the people use because there's other weapons in the game, but they do it in flasks. And everybody else has flasks. Not only that, they've got 5 flasks. Anyway. Odds of this surviving in the next league? God, I hope it's low. Is this worth patching right now? I don't know. Probably not my budget. But I imagine that it's probably going to get twacked in the next edition of the league. But in the meantime, if you're wondering how to build a very, very, very survivable character, there you have it. You need these nodes, and you need these nodes, and then you need that node. This node over here, right? I'm getting to know where my camera's at. And then you need this amazing cluster, which should cost you no more than 5 chaos. Right, because you're looking for spiked concoction and fasting. If anything, these things don't even have synergies. Anti-synergy. One of them requires no flask to be in effect, and the other one triggers when you use a flask. It's fantastic. But, you know, it's 20% or 40% increased flask charges gained in just a cluster, so it's nice and easy. Slap some iron reflexes on there, and you're good to go. Anyway. I think I'm gonna go make dinner while these guys figure out that this is futile. But yeah, I thought at some point that maybe this would have like a cooldown on it or something, but as you can see from the flickering, not much of a cooldown. Really, the only thing I need to make sure is I don't take crits, and then I have to figure out how to scale up some life and put some actual gear on here, and guess you can run anything if you can't die. Oh, and by the way, you also have like 80, mid-80s effective resistances against fire and lightning, and once I put the other flasks on, cold. And this one creates chilling ground because I was playing with Glacial Hammer, and it's got the same stats. It consumes 20 charges. Alright. Is this fixable? No, because there's flasks that require less than 20 charges, so it's even dumber on those things. And you can trigger those things all the time instead. Putting a cooldown on the charges gained probably will be the most elegant way to fix it. And you'll probably have some people scream bloody murder, because you're not just screwing over this build. That's a pretty popular mod. Whoopsies. Yeah. Flasks, they're awesome. Oh well, by this weekend either this will probably be dead, or I'll have a follow-up video of the actual build where we really show how absolutely stupendous the ability to survive things is, because right now I've got like 1800 life, which isn't a whole lot, and I have 8000 armor, which isn't a whole lot. So once we have real gear on this, it will become, and when I say real gear, I mean like stuff that costs like a chaos. Then we'll probably be able to just go grab lunch while we hang out in a Scourge map. Sweet. Flasks. They're awesome.